I get it, you're standing on the dock, eyeing that shiny new FishFinder on the shelf, and the thought of spending a couple $100 on something you might never really need is nagging at you. You're probably wondering whether a device that promises live sonar and preloaded charts will actually make a difference on a typical weekend outing, or if you'll end up staring at a glowing screen that's more hype than help. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what the Lowrance Eagle Eye 9 really does once you hook it up, and see if it's worth the price tag for your style of fishing. First off, the Eagle Eye isn't just a cheap display you slap on a boat. It's a combined sonar and chartplotter that tries to give you a real-time picture of what's beneath the water. The big selling point is the focused live sonar that claims to lock onto a specific depth slice and refresh it dozens of times a second. In practice, that means when you're trolling across a lake and you drop the line over a promising structure, the screen will actually show you the fish echo moving as you move the boat, instead of a static image that updates every few seconds. For anglers who like to chase schools on the fly, that immediacy can be the difference between a bite and a missed opportunity. The transducer that comes with the Eagle Eye packs 4 sonar modes into one unit: standard 200 kHz, high-frequency 455 kHz, downscan imaging, and a wide-beam focus mode. Most people never need to fiddle with all 4, but the flexibility is handy when you shift from shallow flats to deeper holes in a single day. I've seen anglers on a river use the high-frequency mode to locate a tight school near the surface, then flip to the downscan as they move out to a deeper channel. The ability to switch without swapping hardware is a practical time saver, especially when you're already juggling rods, bait, and a nervous crew. One of the things that can make a sonar unit feel clunky is the need to constantly fine-tune settings for each new spot. Lowrance tries to eliminate that headache with an AutoTuning sonar feature that automatically adjusts gain and pulse length based on water depth and bottom composition. In my own tests on a murky reservoir, the system seemed to find a sweet spot after the first few seconds, giving a clean, noise-free picture of the lake bed. It's not a miracle that will turn a bottomless pit into a fish-filled wonderland, but it does let you spend less time fiddling with knobs and more time actually casting. The Chartplotter side of the Eagle Eye is driven by Preloaded C-MAP US and Canada charts. Those maps include depth contours, fishing hotspots, and even some basic navigation aids like buoys and marinas. If you're the type who plots a route before you launch, having those charts baked into the unit means you don't need a separate GPS tablet or phone app. On a recent trip across the Great Lakes, the chart data helped us avoid a shallow sandbar that could have snagged our gear. That said, the maps are static, no live updates or community-sourced data, so if you rely on real-time traffic or weather overlays, you'll need a supplemental device. Now, who should actually consider buying this setup? If you're a weekend angler who already owns a basic sonar stick but feels limited by slow refresh rates and a tiny screen, the Eagle Eye's 9-inch IPS display is a noticeable upgrade. The bright, wide-view panel stays legible even in direct sunlight, which is a practical benefit when you're out on a clear day. The unit also shines for small to medium boat owners who want an all-in-one solution without wiring up a separate chart plotter. The built-in transducer mounts to the transom, so installation is a matter of a few bolts and a short cable run, nothing that requires a professional electrician. Conversely, if you're a serious offshore fisherman who spends most of your time in deep water, the Eagle Eye may feel underpowered. Its top sonar frequency of 200 kHz is great for mid-range depths, but you won't get the penetration that a dedicated 50 kHz downscan unit offers for depths beyond 200 feet. Also, the preloaded charts stop at the US and Canada borders, so if you fish in Mexico, the Caribbean, or the Pacific Northwest, you'll be missing out on native chart data and will have to load external maps manually, something the device isn't particularly streamlined for. Let's talk about the practical downsides that only become obvious after you've taken it home. The first is the learning curve. The interface tries to be intuitive, but the combination of sonar mode switching, chart layers, and auto-tuning options can overwhelm a first-time user. It takes a few outings to remember which button toggles the focus mode versus the downscan, and you'll probably end up consulting the manual more often than you'd like. Second, the transducer cable is fairly thick, which can be a nuisance on smaller boats where you're already fighting for space under the deck. It's not a deal breaker.